This is a quick video to show you the many benefits of using a Kindle when you are dyslexic. I am using a Kindle Fire. It is the 7-inch entry model, so it's the cheapest one you can get with the smallest memory. But first of all, I'm going to show you features that are on any Kindle, and there are so many different Kindle devices. I'm just showing the common functionality across all Kindles, and then more specifically, I'm going to show you Immersion Reading, which I think is fantastic and can be a huge game changer in helping reluctant readers develop a love of reading and learning all the other things that we learn when we read without having to decode every word and be frustrated and give up. So let's get on with it now. Here I am on the home screen of my Kindle Fire, and I'm going to select the Kindle Fire app, or the books icon that you can see here. And when I do, it lists the books that I have downloaded on my Kindle, and you'll see that some of them have a little microphone on the top right hand side and others don't. Now those that don't are the ones where I haven't got the audio book, I have only got the Kindle book. And first of all, I'm just going to look at a book where I don't have the audio book. And we see that it's kept my preferences, it knows the background colour I want and the type of font I want and the spacing, but I'm going to show you how I set this information. If you tap on the screen, I normally do the very top, because if you just tap somewhere on the screen, it changes the page. But if you tap on the top or the bottom, you get this list of options available to you. So first of all, I can search for any word or phrase in the book and it will take me straight there, which is something that you can't do on a hard copy. But secondly, if you look at those two AAs, this is where I can change the font and how the screen looks. I can change the brightness of the screen, so I'll keep it in the middle. I can check the text size, I can make it a lot larger or I can make it smaller. I can change the background colour, and I quite like that. There's less glare with that, and obviously I can change the text. And I like Open Dyslexics, and a lot of my students find it really helps them read. And I can change the spacing, be it the margin spacing, the line spacing, or the alignment. So once I'm happy with that, I just click off the box and it will save those settings for me whenever I go on and read a book. And by tapping the page, I can go back and forward in the book. So now I've tapped the screen and I'm back with all the options available to me, and I'm just going to work through. And here we see that we have an awful lot of notes supplied as background. So these are the sort of things that teachers would supply about the book that are really helpful. And yes, you can purchase these when you have a hard copy book, but it's great that they're just available here within the Kindle. I'm not going to go into detail of the other options, but they allow you to share on social media what you think of the book, create highlights and notes, which is excellent, but that's worth showing in a separate video. You can create flashcards too to help you learn about features of the book. You can set a bookmark, but the most exciting features are all where these three dots are. And we're going to go in to look at Word Runner, Wordwise and additional settings. And I'm going to start with additional settings because that's where you can switch on text to speech. And when we go in there, you can see that I have already switched text to speech on. And because I've done that, I can now see at the bottom right hand side, I can play text to speech.
Night so the Jesus could have our beds. The menu was drawn up in their runner, and the meal was delicious. The festivities were briefly interrupted when furthers left.
They don't highlight each word in text to speech, And the voice used is an electronic voice, but I do think it's a very good quality electronic voice. And I've definitely used this when my book club have selected a book that isn't on Audible, and it's enabled me to read it as I've done other jobs, which is fantastic. So that's text to speech. Here's Word Runner, and for some students this makes a huge difference. It's really helpful. Now we have to look at this the other way up, but what I can do now, I can select the speed. I've got a slow speed, and I press play, and then it gives me every word on that page, but just one word at a time. And for some, particularly children that have visual issues, this can be super helpful, and it automatically slows down for difficult words and punctuation, and it will tell you how many words per minute you're reading, and you can change it. You can make it much faster or you can make it much slower. So that's Word Runner. I'm going to pause that and come out of Word Runner. And the final bit of functionality I want to show you is Wordwise. And Wordwise helps students with their vocabulary, and it can be set dependent on how much help they need. So we have Wordwise switched on, and then when I go to read the book, I'll notice there'll be extra help. Now I had it so that it would hide most things, but as I move the slider along, I'm saying show me more definitions, give me more help. So I started off with it not really wanting help because I wanted the screen to look tidy, and I can set for any student where I think they should be on that continuum. And then as I go through the book, it will help me with words that might be difficult to understand. And I've put it up high so we get all the help that we can get now. I'm sure you'll agree with me that even without immersion reading, with just the features available in a Kindle, dyslexics or anybody gets a lot more help than they would if they were reading a hard copy book. But if you think that's good, let me show you immersive reading. Now I'm going to show you a Kindle book where I've bought the audio version. And we can see as we just look at the books that some of them have the little headphones on the right hand side. And I'm going to, whereas others don't. So I'm going to tap in to David Walliams' Gangster Granny. And here I see it displays it the way I've asked it to display it, and I set this up when I did the demo on the Kindle features as opposed to the immersive reader, but they've all been set up. So I want a black background, I want it in dyslexia font, I want Wordwise on. That's the spacing I particularly want. And by clicking at the top, I have got these options available to me. So the 2A's are where I set all these settings, and then the 3 dots at the end are where I have the additional helpful functionality. And I want to show you as I go through this Kindle book that wherever that there are images within the book, the child will also get the images in the ebook. And I particularly like this one because it does actually talk you through and reads all the labelling of what the granny looks like and is wearing. And as you see, I've got Wordwise switched on, and just to keep the it not so busy, I will put that to minimal help with Wordwise. And I then want to go and have a look at how we switch on immersive reading. I just press the play button there.
Away to Granny's house. Clunk went the door behind him, and the engine revved up again. Before he could ring the bell, Granny opened the door. A huge gust of cabbage blasted in Ben's face. It was like a great big slap of smell. She was very much a textbook granny.
So I think I've shown you there how effective immersion reading can be. The fact that it highlights the word draws the child's attention. It doesn't guarantee that they follow along, but it really helps them in following along. I've done this on a Kindle Fire. Immersion reading is only available on a Kindle Fire or an Android tablet. I have it switched on my iPad where I use the Kindle app and I have audiobooks, but unfortunately it will not highlight every word. I think Apple and Amazon are competitors, so they haven't allowed that functionality. But this simple bit of functionality is available on this very, very cheap entry-level device can make a huge difference in encouraging reluctant readers to read and get all the benefits of improving their vocabulary, sentence structure, understanding of the world, and a love of reading all come from this without having to go decode every word and get frustrated and give up. And I've known prep schools buy half a dozen of these Kindle devices, the smaller 7-inch, and it's made a huge difference to reading in their school. It's made a very positive impact. So I really hope this video has helped. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Once you've subscribed, if you hit the bell button, then you'll be informed when I create other helpful videos.